FYI, this get up today, I'm going for a jog right after this. I know. Me, jogging, I am. What is up, my Olympias? It's Vanessa and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very exciting video. I know thrifting has been a big thing, buying secondhand. I've talked about lots of videos about Poshmark. I haven't gone to a thrift store yet. I need to do that. But another place where people buy and sell things is Facebook Marketplace. I have sold things, I have bought things, I have got things for free on Facebook Marketplace. And for today's video, I want to give everyone a little public service announcement, a little PSA, because there are a lot of scams going on Facebook Marketplace and I want people to know. I want to inform you all of the different scams that are happening right now. That way you're safe because, you know, I tried to get scammed a couple times. I didn't fall for it. I didn't, but I bet there's a lot of people who do. That's why these scams are all around and out there. So I hope you enjoy it. Before we get started though, I just want to remind you to make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And also, if you like the idea of this video, make sure to like it. And yeah, with that, let's get into the video. FYI, this get up today, I'm going for a jog right after this. I know. Me, jogging, I am. Facebook Marketplace, it's great. A lot of people use it, like pretty much everyone has Facebook Marketplace, like from generations. It's the place to get new stuff. Kijiji was a big thing, as well as Craigslist, but now it's like Facebook Marketplace and eBay. I guess eBay, I haven't personally shopped on eBay, but Facebook Marketplace is super, super easy to use. And I personally sold things on there. And yeah, but there are a lot of scams out there. There are buyer scams and seller scams. We'll get started with, if you want to sell something and someone's buying from you. So when it comes to selling an item on Facebook Marketplace, of course, there's this guy on TikTok that I follow that he actually like reenacts the conversations on Facebook Marketplace that people send to him, which is really, really funny. Honestly, with Facebook Marketplace, sometimes it's really, really annoying when people ask questions, especially if you put the information in the ad. If you put the measurements of something, people ask what's the measurements, like it's in the ad. Yeah, my recommendation, obviously, try to be as detailed as possible. That way you don't get as many questions. One item I actually sold was a patio set that Mitch and I bought. We put it for a really good price. We put it for $500 and it's like brand new. The cushions aren't even dirty and they're poofy. Like it's not a used patio set. If you go on Facebook Marketplace and search patio sets, a lot of them are stained and dirty. A lot of them are flat. Like, you know, there's some damage. This one, nothing. Like, it looks like it was just brand new from the box. So we were selling it for $500 and literally I had like 50 people message me. So the story with the patio set, I posted it and about 5 minutes later, I got a message. And he was like, hey, is it still available? I'm like, yeah, it is. He's like, okay, great. Like, can I come pick it up tomorrow? Great. That sounds good. He's like, is the morning okay? I'm like, okay, great. That's perfect. He's like, okay, what's your address? I gave him my address. Obviously now, I know some people are going to be like, why would you give your address? That's stupid. I've given my address before. It's never been a problem with selling things. Obviously, if I'm uncomfortable selling something, I would bring it somewhere more common. Like we have a plaza that's like a 2-minute drive away. But because this is such a big item, like I'm not going to go to a parking lot in a plaza and wait there with a patio set. But anyway, gave my address, no big deal. And then after I gave my address, this guy was like, oh, I'm actually gonna send someone to pick up because I'm moving for work and I'm moving to London next week. So I'm gonna send people to like pick it up. Is that okay? Like, I was just like, okay, well, are you coming to pay? And he said, no, actually, my check's gonna give you a check because it's part of my moving expenses and you can upload it to your bank and it will clear right away. And then once it clears, I can send the movers to pick it up. So all of a sudden, from picking it up tomorrow morning, now it can be picked up another day. You know, it was kind of like weird. And even with the check, that was already weird. And I was kind of like, oh my God, because I gave him my address already. So I was kind of like, oh my God, this guy's like a scammer. I actually could unsend the message. I forgot to note this detail. He messaged me from Instagram. I know, you guys are probably like, Vanessa, that's obviously sketchy. But mind you, okay, I haven't sold anything from Facebook Marketplace in a while, and I know Facebook and Instagram, they interconnect somehow. So I'm like, how are they seeing my marketplace posting? You know what I mean? So I thought it was maybe someone's going through Instagram and the Facebook. So I thought it was like a thing. And I went to his profile, it was private, whatever. But he had like a decent number of followers, a decent number of posts, whatever. You know, like it wasn't like a weird profile. So I was like, okay, whatever. But anyway, I was able to unsend the address, but I did write to him saying like, hey, sorry, I only accept cash. Then he stopped responding. He saw the message, you could see the little face, and then he stopped responding altogether. So I ended up blocking him on Instagram. I ended up reporting the profile on Instagram, and I removed my address, obviously, before I blocked him. But if you live in like a condo, like an apartment, it's obviously less risky because you can just say the apartment number. Obviously, my recommendation for something like that, if you're giving out your address, Mitch actually gave me this tip, which I think is really smart. If you're not really sure, whatever, of the person, if you feel like in your gut something's a little bit weird or you feel uncomfortable, ask for a phone number. Like, oh, what's your number so I can text you the address? Like, that's all you have to say. That way you have a phone number in case of like any sketchiness or whatever. You have a phone number to like liaison with in a way. So that's kind of helpful. Another thing too, when you're selling something, obviously, a lot of people ask like, when it comes to ETransfer, should I accept ETransfer? Again, that's totally up to you. Mitch and I have like Googled this a bunch of times. Personally, like for my account, if someone e-transfers me, it automatically goes into my account. So they cannot actually take the money back. They can't say, oh, cancel it, because it's already in my account. They can't cancel the transaction. The only way they could do that is like, obviously they have to like, I don't even know. I think they have to like file a fraud case, but I don't think they can do anything, to be honest. The only time I've retracted money is because I sent one of my friends money one time and it was actually the wrong email address. So obviously it wasn't automatically deposited. So I was able to cancel that e-transfer. But anything that's an automatic, where the account's set to automatic deposit, you cannot take the money out. But that's personally, like when we Googled it, that's how it works. So definitely do your own research. But whenever I do buy something off Facebook Marketplace or even sell anything, I always just say cash. Like, it's just easier to deal with. You can count it, whatever. But obviously some people like don't like to deal with the money, so e-transfer, it's totally up to you, but that's just my personal opinion. So now is the buying. Okay, and yes, if you're buying something, some sellers could be a scam, okay? So when we were first looking for patios, I remember I woke up, I was looking every day on Marketplace to see if there was one. There were a couple, obviously, there were some nice ones, some not nice ones. Then one day it was like a long, big sectional with a table, 300 bucks. I was like, oh my God, that's an amazing deal. Oh, actually there was no table, it was just a sectional, 300 bucks. And the guy wrote, hey, like just getting rid of this. Me and my wife do interior design, blah, 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 blah. So I message him. He sees the message. He says, yes, it's still available. I said, great, when can I pick it up? He saw the message and then he didn't respond. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. He never responded. Okay. So then there was another guy, but he was an older guy. He was getting rid of a sectional too, which was also kind of weird. I'm like, okay. But it was a different one, and it had the plastic on it. No offense, I kind of stereotyped. I'm like, when you think of old people and you think of like couches and mattresses, they keep the plastic on it. I was like, okay, this is available. He said yes. And I said, when can I pick up? I said, I can pick it up right now, blah, blah, because Mitch was off work early, and he actually said, you can pick it up tonight at 7. Oh my God, like I can get this sectional for $400. This is amazing. So I said, great, what's the address? No response. I'm like, okay, you know, he's older, maybe it's just gonna take a couple hours, whatever. Nope, never heard anything from him since. So actually, these people are scammers, okay? And I'm gonna tell you how I discovered this, because it was like mind-blowing. So how the scam works. First, I went to that interior designer guy. So I looked at his profile, because you can see the seller details in their profile. I can see his profile was created in 2022. Honestly, when I first saw that, I didn't think of anything because whatever, like maybe he didn't have Facebook and he got it, whatever. With that older guy, it was the same thing. No Facebook at all. I saw other profiles that were created in 2022, but one of them was more specific, saying like, if you're really serious, send a deposit. And I'm like, oh, that's what they're doing. So basically what these people are doing is they put something for a really, really good price, like a big patio sectional. This patio sectional is like at least $2,000, okay? It's like massive. It could fit like 10 people on there, okay? Like $2,000 sectional. So selling it for like 300 bucks, stinking deal, right? So obviously people are getting excited. Like there are people that get so excited that they want to give a deposit, and they're like, hey, I'll offer you 50 bucks, I'll offer you 100 bucks, save my spot, blah, 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 blah. And they accept it, and then they disappear because the interior designer that I messaged, his profile disappeared. It was gone. So yeah, they would, I guess, get an e-transfer from someone, and then they disappear. Like that's it. They delete their profile. It's pretty scary. So my advice for something like that, if something seems like a good deal, that's great. If it's a really good deal, then go and get it right away. Never give a deposit, ever. If someone asks you for a deposit, it has happened, I think, I've never done it, but Mitch has for car parts. Even when he does do it, he's kind of like sketched about it. That's why he doesn't give anything too high, because obviously if it's like, okay, well, if he sells it, whatever, I give him 25 bucks, whatever. Usually he has a long conversation before doing the deposit thing, but for me, I've never given one, and I plan to never ever give one. So yeah, never give a deposit for Facebook Marketplace. And the second thing is check the seller's profile. So when you're on Facebook Marketplace, you can see the ad and you can see the seller, and then there's a link that says seller details. And from there you can see any other listings they have, you can see their rating, and it also like shows like when their account was created. You can sometimes see their profile depending on the privacy settings. So that's really helpful as well. The scammers are getting smart. So just make sure to be careful, because obviously I know everyone wants a good deal, but you gotta also be careful and don't give out any information that can be stolen from you. Don't give any money until you get the item. That's my advice. And that concludes my Facebook Marketplace 101 not to get scammed video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Honestly, because this is something recent that happened to me, I just want to make sure that anyone that is using Facebook Marketplace, which is a lot of people, just to make sure you gotta protect yourself. If you found anything helpful and like this video, make sure to give it a like and comment down below any other tips to avoid getting scammed on any selling website. I'd love to know any tips that you guys have. That way, anyone else that views this video can get some tips as well. And if you have any questions, definitely ask them below as well. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. And make sure to also hit that subscribe button down below, as I post every single Friday. Thanks for watching, and see you next week. Bye!